Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Pageant Mag Philippines live sessions. Yours truly, once again, Francois is your pageant correspondent. We are live simultaneously on our Facebook page and, of course, on our YouTube channel. So, if you are new to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe and click the bell notification. And so that rather you will get notified whenever we release new updates. All right. So please do follow and like as well our Facebook page for more pageant updates. We are also on Instagram and TikTok. So please follow us on all our social media platforms. Now, guys, if you have any questions later, please don't hesitate to drop your questions down below at the comment section. So I believe that you are very much excited to get to meet our guest for tonight. By the way, this episode is being brought to us by Celebrity, a celebration of tea of a lifetime. All right, so our esteemed guest for tonight is a Harino Pilipinas 2021 candidate hailing from Iloilo City. So he is an admin assistant of Philippine Airlines. He is also a host and a musician. So without further ado, guys, please do help me welcome our guest with a virtual applause, the pride of Iloilo City, Earl John Kevin Escopel. Hello, good evening, Earl. Oh, Kevin. Which one do you want me to call you?
Kevin na lang po.
All right. Hello, Kevin. So, good evening to you, Kevin. How are you doing?
Hello sir, so good evening sa lahat ng mga viewers po ng Pageant Mag Philippines. It's been an honor to be here. So I feel great actually. I just came from work. So I'm trying to feel this moment and I'm very excited to have this interview with you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for that excitement. I don't know what makes you excited for this interview. Ako lang to. All right. Anyways, so thank you so much as well for reaching out to have this interview be done with you. All right. So thank you so much, and we are very much honored and of course grateful for your trust that we can be part of your journey as well towards Hari ng Pilipinas 2021. All right, so we don't know much about you, or shall I say, our viewers don't know much about you still, Kevin Escopel, because I believe this is the second time that you are doing this live session with us, right? So you had
Yes,
it
yes.
last year. Anyways, can you tell us more about yourself for our viewers?
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So, well, my real name is Earl John Kevin Toledo Escopel. So most of the people always say my name as Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So I am an admin assistant of a four-star airline company, which is the Philippine Airlines. And at the same time, here in Iloilo, I'm also working as a part-time host and musician. So basically, aside from these things, I'm also passionate about my advocacy, which is more on agritourism and environmental awareness. So I've been doing this for almost 7 years now, and I'm very proud that through this simple program, I'm being able to help our farmers here in my hometown, which is Leganes. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past years.
Oh, well, nice, huh? Yeah, I've been hearing about this agritourism actually. But before that, before we talk more about your advocacy, because we actually have some time later about on your advocacy rather,
Mhm.
let me just greet our. Let us first greet rather our viewers. We have here Dandy Janice Rera. Hello, Dandy, all the way from Cebu. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you joined us tonight. And of course, we have Sharon Martinez Abane. Hi, good evening to you, Sharon. Thank you so much for watching. And Marcus Antonius. Marcus Antonius is your
Yes,
competitor, right?
yes, is my
Your fellow candidate for Harino Pilipinas, right?
tama.
All right. So, hi, good evening to you, Marcus. And I think Marcus is also part of Top 40. Am I right?
Yes, we're going to see each other
Mm-hmm.
this November 16 to 22 in Cagayan, and I'm very excited to meet them all.
Is it in Cagayan Valley?
Yes, yes, tama po.
Where will be in Cagayan Valley?
Specifically in Santiago City,
Oh,
Isabela.
it's gonna be in Isabela. All right. So
Yes.
yes. Yes. Hello. Hi, Dandy. I love agritourism. According. Yeah. Tell us more about it. Okay. And of course, hello to Scott Kalingsagan Amlato. I'm not sure if I was able to pronounce your name very well. And yes, that is very proactive as of now. And yes, guys, just like what I've mentioned earlier, rather, if you have any questions later about or for our guest for Kevin, please just don't forget to drop your questions down below. All right, but for now, let's get to know him well, just for this segment. All right, so Kevin, can you just tell us? You just mentioned earlier that you are already working as administrative assistant in
Mm-hmm.
PAL, right? So can
Mm-hmm.
you tell us about your education as well? Was it really very how shall I say close to or associated with actually what you are actually doing in PAL?
Mm-hmm. Well, I graduated with a course of Bachelor of Science in Tourism at Central Philippine University. So part of my course is really focusing more on the hospitality, which is in the airlines, in cruise ship, and also in land-based tourism. So when
Mm-hmm.
I graduated, I really pursued the airline industry because it has been my dream working in the airlines.
Mm-hmm.
So after a year, I applied in the Philippine Airlines, and luckily, I was hired as a passenger service agent, or commonly called the ground crew. And after
Mm-hmm.
4 months as working as a PSA, I got promoted and became the admin assistant of our company. So it has been a very remarkable experience for me to, in just a span of 4 months, I was able to grab that promotion in a very short time because of my willingness to work and my dedication when it comes to customer service. So Yeah, that's I've been doing as of now. I'm working in the office as an admin assistant of Philippine
What
Airlines.
what do you normally do as, or what basically is your principal or
Mhm.
primary responsibilities as administrative assistant?
Well, kumbaga yung admin assistant kasi very meticulous yung job na yun because we are
Mm-hmm.
assigned to create reports for the airlines, especially for the weekly and monthly. So basically, sa akin lahat pumupunta ng mga flight details ng airlines. And at the same time, I'm in charge for the salary of our co-employees. So basically, every month ako yung parang most of the time I've been working on the computer for their salary and at the same time for their flight reports. So yan yung mostly na ginagawa ko sa job na to.
So you are absolutely working with the HR, human resource, right?
Yes, yes, tama po.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thank you so much for that information. At least we all know what basically admin assistant has been doing. All right.
Mhm.
So you also mentioned in here that on the side of being an admin assistant or administrative assistant, you are also doing you also do hosting, and you are a musician.
Mhm.
So can you tell us more about this?
Well, music has been my first love ko siya, yung music talaga. Back when I was 6 years old, I could still remember I joined a choir sa church. So that's the time that I was able to appreciate music. So yung parents ko, pina-enroll nila ako sa music school every summer. So that's how I enhance myself when it comes to music. Sa hosting naman, I just discovered that college na because one of my cousins discovered my potential when it comes to speaking. So
Mhm.
I also used that opportunity to host some of the events here sa Iloilo, sa mga pageants, birthdays, or even culinary events dito. So through that simple transition as a host, as a musician, and an artist, I was able to meet different people from different walks of life. At the same time, I was able to experience events na kumbaga, kung rush man, I'm always prepared because I've been able to experience that situation.
Oh, impressive, huh? Hi, Rodel Pardorla. Hi, nice watch. Thank you for watching once again, Rodel, from Kabangkalan City, Negros Occidental. Yeah, it's been quite a while, Rodel. All right. So, yep. What else have you been doing in here? Have you been into pageants before joining Harino Pilipinas?
Actually, it's my second national pageant. Way back
Mm-hmm.
2019, I represented Iloilo City in the Mr. Earth Philippines 2019, which I won Mr. Earth Philippines Water. So it's kind of like second runner-up.
Mm-hmm.
And dito naman sa Iloilo, kumbaga, raketero ako dito when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to pageant din. So, yeah, since 2018, I've been joining na pageant because it's also my way of earning money and at the same time experiences then.
So, if you are to compare your experience pre-pandemic now
Mhm.
into this,
Mhm.
not yet a post-pandemic anyway. So, what has been the difference joining pageant during pre-pandemic and during the pandemic period?
Well, there's a total difference when it comes to, the pageant preparation,
Mm-hmm.
especially nung time na wala pang COVID-19 and now that most of the pageants are being held virtually. So, yung last time kasi is more on physical interaction. You're being able to talk with the judges, interact with the audiences, and also presenting yourself no, in front of the crowd. But right now kasi it's more on virtual in which we're going to prepare ourselves na through videos, photos. So kumbaga, it's a presentation of creativity online. But I'm very lucky through Hari ng Pilipinas, they are still open for face-to-face pageant, which is going to be held in Cagayan, which I'm very excited. So part of the competition ng HNP, being held virtually. Mga challenges namin ng top 100 are being held virtually. And now that we're top 40, so we are aiming to, to compete in Cagayan Valley this November. So that's the difference
Mm.
between the pageant before and now.
But of course, there will be some protocols or
Mm-hmm.
health protocols to be observed on the pageant. So, how would that be? How long are you going to somehow prepare before the pageant night?
Well, so when it comes to the protocols, I'm very grateful na din kasi I'm fully vaccinated. So which is one
Mm-mm.
of the major rules of the IATF na before we're going to the pageant, we have to be
Mm-mm.
fully vaccinated. And at the same time, it depends to the region na pupuntahan namin if they're going to allow us by having a RT-PCR test result. So in Cagayan naman kasi, they are open but you have to be fully vaccinated. So, yun. I'm ready and I'm prepared if anytime kung pupunta doon kasi I have already the results here with me. So, yun.
See, I believe that Cagayan Valley is very strict as of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, so I don't know how it will go during yeah up until your coronation night then. Anyways, so if you're going to pick something from your experiences from your previous from your previous pageant experiences, what is a particular experience or lesson that you have or yeah that you have learned from it wherein you can make use on your journey now in Harino, Filipinas.
I think that is the value of patience. You know,
Mm-hmm.
last pre-pandemic kasi, we are very excited. We are very, kumbaga yung adrenaline doon is parang tuloy-tuloy. We
Mm-hmm.
can't even explain ourselves and how we're going to present ourselves sa stage kasi we're full of excitement then. And now we are having this pandemic, yung patience mo matitest talaga. You have to wait for a very long time just to release the official dates for the competition to start. So kumbaga, instead from like 1 month or 2 months lang na waiting period, na
Mm-hmm.
dagdagan pa na parang to 4 to 5 months. So it's kind of stressful. But yung
Mm-hmm.
patience mo talaga, it will teach you how to understand the situation at the same time. So that's what I've learned from the past experiences that I've already applied now in the Hari ng Pilipinas competition.
It's nice, huh? So there you go. Now, what is basically your reason for joining Hari ng Pilipinas, despite that you've already won in a national pageant? So
Mhm.
you've been doing your advocacy then. So what else do you have to prove to yourself that you needed to join Hari ng Pilipinas?
Mhm. Well, actually, yung Hari ng Pilipinas kasi, it serves to be like a blessing in disguise.
Mm-mm.
Kasi I was very surprised when Sir Alfie de Samprado, one of our uh, directors dito sa Iloilo, invited me to participate in this pageant, which I have no plan na talaga to compete because I'm focusing more on my career. But he said that he saw potentials on me. That's why I should try another time.
Mm-mm.
So nung ginab ko yung opportunity na 'to, I always, ask myself, "Ano ba yung reason bakit andito ako?" Maybe it's because of my purpose, you know?
Mm-mm.
Um, because I felt like hindi ko pa siya nagawa fully nung nag-Mr. Earth Philippines ako. So I think it's about time na parang I have to use my time, especially this pandemic, hope to let people be aware about what is happening in our surrounding and at the same time by being the voice of my advocacy so that people would be able to understand how important it is the value of agriculture in our society. So I think yung Hari ng Pilipinas is a great avenue for me to speak out for the things that I'm very passionate about.
That's nice. And I can see how I can see actually your passion, your passion on your advocacy. However, we'll be talking more about your advocacy later on, just like what I have
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. So for now, let's just play this first challenge that I have prepared for you. Okay. So hi Vico Velasco, all the way from Iloilo, from Carles Iloilo. Hi, thank you for watching.
Hello.
Yeah, Vico. All right. So are you ready with this? Shall I say, have you ever?
Let's bring it on, sir.
All right. So all you have to do in here is that if you have so the question is basically answerable with yes, with a yes or no, right? Or you
Mm-hmm.
have it or you have not. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So just explain to us. If you have experienced it, just explain to us how did it happen, or just tell us how did it happen. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's start off with um, have you ever had gotten in a trouble or in trouble at school or at church? Church rather.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I had. Siguro
Mm-hmm.
sa church because that was very memorable for me.
Oh.
Um, yeah, because I'm an Adventist. So basically, we're very conservative when it comes to using our words inside of the church. So sometimes I'm that kind of person who's very vocal of what I'm vocal and very expressive at the same time. So minsan may masasabi ako na parang unusual and then people would notice that and feeling ko napahiya ako nung time na yun. So yun, very ano siya, very nakaka-stress yung time na yun because
Oh.
people misunderstood me that time,
Mm-mm.
especially sa church.
Mm-mm.
For most of the people, they're very conservative. So,
Mm-mm.
uh, as time passed by, I was able to adapt na parang I have to,
Adjust.
to adjust and lower myself when it comes to that matter. Kasi very sacred kasi yung church eh. So, yun, I have to respect that.
All right. Thank you for your honesty. And so, how about this? Have you ever had something embarrassing moment happen to you?
Embarrassing moment.
Mm-hmm.
Madami. Madami po. Siguro isa na yung when
If
I
you could
had my
mention one. Mm-hmm.
uh, well, 'di ba kung example, I'm a host, 'di ba? So dito kasi sa Iloilo when I had my first hosting stint sa Miss Iloilo Tourism that time, it was my first
Mm-hmm.
time. So when we say first time, trial and error pa talaga nung time na 'yon.
That's right.
So when my co-host asked me about, kumbaga, kung may isang place na pwede mo pang isuportahan beside from your hometown, ano yun at bakit? So, sa isip ko, parang na-rattle ako at parang na-stress ako kasi, especially first time, speaking in hundreds of people. So, nung time na yun, I said my hometown, which is Leganes. Um, Siguro the candidates were laughing at me at the back kasi sabi niya, yung hometown na hindi ko pa kumbaga hindi ko pa siya natuluyan, parang gano'n.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was an honest mistake actually. So, nung nagka-second hosting ako, I've learned from that mistake. I was able to, to try something na parang I have to be open-minded in different situations, especially when my co-host trying to challenge me at the same time. Because when you
Mm-hmm.
say co-host kasi minsan, hindi kami magkakakilala. So, we just met on the same day. So, I have to
Mm-hmm.
adjust. So, yun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perhaps one thing that you could also have to do in that is you have to get to know your co-host before
Yes, yes,
even
tama po.
before the before the event day, right? So yeah, at least, diba? It's really important that you know who your co-host is.
Mhm. Mhm. Tama.
All right, and have you ever had drunk a soda or a soda pop? Then you laughed and had it come out your nose.
So many times. I could still remember back when I was like 6 or 7, when I was
Mm-mm.
playing with my classmates that time. Sa school kasi, we're very open with sweets, especially sa
Mm-hmm.
canteen. So yung mom ko was one of the caterer sa canteen. So every recess, soda. So I can still remember that moment na parang nag-uusap kami and then I was trying to drink my soda and then one of my classmates said parang jokes na kumbaga nagbigay siya talaga ng kasiyahan nung time na yun. It was very unexpected pero the mess was still there. It was very embarrassing, but it's okay. You know, it's part of the childhood, diba?
Yeah, that's right. How about this one? Have you ever had your cell phone rang at an embarrassing moment?
My cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, sir?
Have you ever had your cell phone rang at an embarrassing moment?
When I was in college, actually, when
Mhm.
while the examination was still going on, I forgot to put my phone in silent mode. So during that time, siguro may emergency sa bahay. My mom called me in a at the center of our examination. Siguro may emergency sa bahay. So when she called me, my phone rang really loud, and my professor caught me opening my phone. Siguro akala niya nag-cheating ako. But she confiscated my phone actually. But after exam, she returned and sabi niya, next time, put your phone at your at your on your bag and put it on a silent mode. So yun.
Mhm. Yeah, learn from it. Always
Mm-hmm.
put your phone on a silent mode
Mode.
wherever you go. Mhm. How about, have you ever had thought of becoming a lady, of becoming a girl pala?
Well, sometimes we have that kind of very unusual imagination. We're trying to compare ourselves, especially for women. O kung ano ba
Mm-hmm.
yung nafe-feel nila. Sometimes na parang curious ako, ano ba yung feeling na may monthly period ka? Parang ganun. So, I have that kind of curiosity. Back when I was a kid, kung ano ba yung feeling, bakit sumasakit yung tiyan nila, parati silang galit, parati silang kumakain ng mga sweets, parang ganun. So, I'm always having that kind of urge na parang ano ba yung nafe-feel nila. So, yeah, that was the time that I also reflected myself to them.
Alright, how about this one? Have you ever had lied to get something cheaper than it was?
Mm, I think I can consider that as a white lies, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've done that before, but it's not that really big deal. Siguro, I was using that in a way to save my friend. Siguro,
Mm-hmm.
just to come out for a party or for a celebration. We were using the name of our most trusted friend para makalabas siya. So, yun.
Mm, no, I mean, yung parang bumili ka ng something, ganyan. Tapos,
Okay.
sinabi mo lang na tawag dito, mas mahal, then
Ah,
binili mo siya ng mura, pero sinabi mong, tawag dito, nabili mo siya ng mahal, ganun.
okay, okay. I'm sorry. So, siguro regarding sa matter na yan, siguro wala. Kasi yung parents ko are very strict when it comes to money eh. So back when I was in college or even in my lower years, every time that my mom asked me about what to buy or what to ask, especially kung money matters na talaga, she really makes sure na kung saan papunta yung pera. So we
Mm-mm.
always have that kind of fear na kumbaga, kung gagastusin ko din yung pera na to, dapat may resibo, dapat may black and white na format so that my mom
Mm-mm.
would be able to understand, kung ano nangyari nung time na yun. So, wala.
Yeah. Have you ever had kept pictures of you because you felt awkward when looking at it?
All the time. Hindi lang sa phone, but also I have my hard copies with me. I'm always that kind of person na para I'm trying to compare myself before and until now. And then kung tinitingnan ko siya, kung may transition ba talaga or may nagbago sa akin. And yan yung talaga yung habit ko. I can relate to that question really. So yan yung hobby ko sometimes. I'm loving comparing myself before and now.
That's nice, huh? Somehow it helps you to motivate yourself actually to do well.
Mhm.
hmm
Tama.
How about this one? Have you ever had told someone their zipper was down or their shirt was popping up open?
I'm sorry, medyo ano siya, medyo blurry.
Have you ever had told someone their zipper was down or open
Okay.
or their shirt was popping open?
Of course, I'm that kind of friend kasi na if I see something wrong to that person, especially when his or her zipper is open or shirt is looking very unusual, I always use my time to help them. Kasi kung sila, if mapapahiya, you know, they would feel bad. And I'm that
Mhm.
kind of person kasi na parang I don't want them to experience that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm always concerned and I'm very helpful sa mga taong nakaka-experience ng ganun.
Ayan. And how about this one? I think this is gonna be the last. Have you ever had copied and pasted, or have you ever had copied an answer from your
Mhm.
seatmate?
I think that's not new na. Most of us have that kind of, kumbaga, sin
Mm-mm.
that we tried already, cheated or copied something in the internet and then paste
Mm-mm.
it on our uh, projects or whatever it is. I think one of the major lessons that we can get from that certain situation, siguro if kung magka-copy lang din naman tayo, make it na parang hindi nakakahalata, di ba? Um, yeah, you have to be careful and at the same time mindful din kasi
Mm-mm.
kung sino man yung makakabasa, check din yun sa huli. So, yun.
All right. Thank you so much for your honesty, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, if you have any questions for Kevin, please just drop your questions down below. We will definitely ask all your questions when we return after this short break. All right. So, please stay tuned, guys. All right, we are back rather, and we're still with Harino Pilipinas candidate from Iloilo City, Kevin Escopel. Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Oh, so guys, do you have any questions for Kevin? I think they don't have any questions for you. Oh, why?
I'm very
anyways,
excited.
anyways, if you don't have any questions for Kevin, so let me just try to pull this up for Kevin. All right, where is that? There you go. Okay, so I have actually prepared some. It's not actually questions. These are not questions, Kevin. So
Mm-hmm.
these are actually topics that we can definitely talk about. All right. So can you see that on your
Wow.
end?
Yes po. Very clear.
All right. So we have here. Oh, so the question before we start for this, Vico has a question. All right, so let me just try to pull that up. What are your preparations for the upcoming competition? That's from Vico.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm very grateful that my team is very hands-on when it comes to my preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Siguro when it comes to my handlers, they're working on with my wardrobes. in everything that I'm trying to represent during the competition. And ako naman, I am more to physical preparation. So I'm trying to lose weight and at the same time focusing more on my diet. And also, nag-virtual talk din kami about Q&A kasi most of the time we're not being able to see each other because of, the situation today. So,
Mhm.
yun yung ginagawa namin.
All right. Thank you so much, Vico, for that question. So let's continue our. Here we go. Let's continue our interview in here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have here six mystery boxes. Okay. So
Wow.
all of these boxes has a corresponding topic. All right. So just pick any of which so that we can unveil whatever your chosen box.
Mm-hmm. Sige po.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So
um,
you may start now. You may start picking one.
my favorite number 3.
Number three. Okay, so are you sure with this? Let me just try to take a look at it.
Parang nakakabayan, sir, ha?
All right, so it's
Social
it's about
media.
social media. So let's talk about social media. So first off, um, how has been the social media to you? So, how did it help you, or how do you find social media?
Mhm. Well, social media for me would always have an advantage and disadvantage when it comes to our usage. Because as we all know, social media is a way of connection and at the same time sending information towards people. But also when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to disadvantage, sometimes people are very abusive when it comes to, on how the way we use it, because sometimes we use it as our advantage to destroy people and at the same time share some fake news. So what I'm trying to expand is we have to use our social media very responsibly because it is in our way on how we could connect, we could spread
Mm-hmm.
awareness, and at the same time we could share very accountable information so that people will get informed and be on the safe situation.
Okay, so you have mentioned fake news and accountability, right? So,
Hmm.
um, on your own way, how do you filter out fake news so that it won't be spread all over?
Hmm. Well, during the start of the using of internet, the fake news is not that new. But now that we are in an era where everyone has been using social media for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, I think it's about time that we have to lessen sharing a lot of fake news because it really gives negative effects towards people.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice would be we have to do our part by searching the most reliable sources of information.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same
Okay.
time, we not just rely ourselves more on the social media itself, because sometimes we can get the right information through televisions, radio, or even in our own phones so that we're being able to see what is, kung ano yung mas reliable na sources of information talaga.
And of course, fact check is actually very
Yes.
important. So,
Research.
we have to get to know the credibility of the sources of the ones doing of the ones spreading those news as well. So I think
Mhm.
that's one of the things that we really have to take in consideration as well. So
Mhm.
not
Tama.
only that we are watching it on TV, that we have to take to check it with the television or radios, because of course it's not always be said in television. It's always not be being broadcasted in television or on radio. So I think being responsible individual or social media user as well, we
Mhm.
have to be very responsible, and of course, just like what I have mentioned, do some fact checking as well to whatever we are posting, and of course accountable on what we are posting.
Mhm. Tama.
Mhm. And still with social media, no, Uh, what do you think has been the advantage and the disadvantages that this social media has brought to us,
Mhm.
especially to your generation?
Mhm. Well, we all know millennials today are very, on hands when it comes to social media. And we have seen the backlash when it comes to the usage, especially now, because sometimes most of the millennials nowadays are trying to destroy people through the easiest form of connecting to people, and that is social media. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe for us to lessen this kind of situation, we have to
Mm-hmm.
educate ourselves about the right usage of social media because most
Mm-hmm.
of the time that we have been scrolling on our feed, we can also find resources about how to be a responsible social media user. We can
Mm-hmm.
educate ourselves by reading some important facts about how we could spread positive information to people, how we could inspire more people. So I think by choosing beside from destroying other people's life, why don't we use it as our advantage to inspire more people through social media? So it's about time na parang we have to open ourselves when it comes to professionalism,
Mm-hmm.
maturity, and at the same time accountability, like what I've said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the social media right now is actually um, taking away emotions from the people, from the user rather?
I always tell myself na parang what you post online really reflects who you are. Sometimes people are not that aware. It's because of they're trying to be expressive on how the way they use their social media accounts.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to remind ourselves na parang not all that we see online really reflects who we are. Sometimes it's a form of you know leisure. It's a form of connecting to people, but behind the real life, it's not about us in the social media. So yan yung parang dapat natin turuan sa mga kabataan ngayon na kumbaga yung social media account mo dapat nakapag-reflect niyan kung sino ka. Kumbaga, if you want to be appreciated, you have to respect yourself and also
Mm-hmm.
the people who are trying to visit your accounts.
All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. So, ang dami na natin pag-usapan sa social media. All right. So, let's pick another topic. Mm-hmm.
Um, let's go to number 6.
Number six. What do we have in number six? Poverty.
Oh,
So, poverty is very broad.
mm,
Yeah, this is very broad very broad topic. However, one of the somehow parang underlying, no, or one
mm,
of the most I forgot my term. Sorry. All right. So one of the most pressing issue actually in poverty is actually people would always say that lack of education is basically the cause of poverty. What's your stand on that?
mm. Well, I disagree. You know, um, if we're going to view about poverty, it's not just about education alone, because I know poverty is one of the most um, hardest problem that we can able to solve towards a nation. It's
Mm-hmm.
either you're gonna choose the right people who can, be a bridge of opportunities for the citizen. But I strongly believe it's not just about education itself. It's about lack of livelihood. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I always believe that parang if we are being able to give more livelihood programs, especially for the parents and for those who are, having a hard time pursuing a job,
Mm-hmm.
we can end poverty in a very short span of time.
Mm-hmm.
I believe education is also important, but I also foresee livelihood as a way of giving impact to people's life. So
Mm-hmm.
poverty can be solved if we're being able to help one another. So through education and by giving livelihood, I think that's a great way that we can solve poverty.
I see. And for sure, in here, when we speak of poverty, one of the most well, a bigger chunk actually, the one of the biggest chunk that's actually experiencing or that are living in poverty are the farmers. So
Yeah,
definitely, it's gonna be part of your advocacy. So,
advocacy.
what can you say about this? That
Mhm.
the people that are actually working very hard to
Mhm.
provide something not only for their family but for the whole country.
Mhm.
They're the ones who are actually living that miserable life, shall I
Mhm.
say? No,
Mhm.
you know, well, naghihirap, mga ganyan. So, what
Mhm.
can you say about that?
Well, I agree because yung mga farmers natin, they're one of the most underrated um,
Mhm,
job dito sa Philippines.
mhm,
And when we say farmers kasi, they're not that given fully support sa government natin. So sometimes I can feel, the pain that most of the farmers are experiencing because most of my family are also farmers as well.
mhm,
So we have to remind ourselves that farmers have been the backbone of our society with or without the pandemic. So they have been providing food in our table. They have been planting a lot of, source of, um, the way source of food para may makakain lang tayo. And they've been working like 24/7 just to plant something for us.
that's right.
So we have to open ourselves with that, and I'm looking forward that people would also support and defend our farmers because
Mhm,
they deserve more opportunities, and they have been unheard for so many years. And I hope that for the next election, we're being able to see a leader who are also, you know, open about helping our farmers for a better change.
hmm. It's like every election there's been always the the platforms
Mhm.
of or the propaganda of this uh, of these candidates or running for any position for any official or for any position in the Philippines. That they've always been saying that um, political na tayo.
Ayun yung ina-avoid natin eh.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. So, but anyway, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we are actually leading to that kind of topic. However, since you just mentioned election, no? So I think we just have to be very careful enough as voters to who should we vote for. I think it's always a lesson for us that we are voting someone that are actually not helping us in the end. So I think that's something that we have to think about and we have to vote wisely. All right.
Tama.
So, Okay. So if you're given a chance to somehow do something for the farmers or yeah to uplift poverty in the Philippines rather or in your own city. So what would you recommend or yeah, what would you recommend for your local government units or for your local government to somehow help your suffering kababayan?
Mm. I think that's a very ambitious way, for us to solve poverty because I think it's not just about me who can only solve it. I believe it's a collaborative efforts of everybody.
Mm-hmm,
So I always see na parang yung mga support ng mga humanitarian organization can be a very powerful way in order for us not really solve poverty, but for us to support those who are suffering just because of poverty. I've
mm-hmm,
been with some organization dito sa Iloilo who are also helping those who are unprivileged and also less fortunate. So
Mm-mm.
I have already opened myself with that kind of situation because nakita ko talaga with my two naked eyes about kung paano sila nagsu-survive every single day, paano ba sila kumakain ng 3 times a day or minsan nga one times a day na lang. So I think we have to be open ourselves when it comes to partnering with some organizations and also with some politicians. Nasabi ko naman about politics, but yun, being with people who are also engaged with humanitarian works, because
Mm-mm.
I always believe na parang if we do an effort not just by one, but if we combine
Mm-mm.
it together, it can be a very impactful way towards the
Mm-mm.
cause that we are aiming for.
Yeah, because just like what Karen Basco mentioned, no, or said actually, that our micro efforts will definitely result
Macro effect.
into macro effect, right?
Yan. Tama.
Mm-hmm. So, yun na nga yun. All right, thank you so much. And for the last topic, what number would you like to pick?
Siyempre, I want to be the first, so it would always be number one.
All right, number one, what do we have? It's teenage
Ah,
pregnancy. So,
mhm,
hmm, okay, so I know that this is also very pressing. One of the pressing issues right now is because it's actually happening. It
right
actually
now.
happened even during a pandemic last year. Based
Mhm,
from the studies last year, it turned out that the teenage pregnancy has actually increased.
mhm,
So it grew. So now, what can you say about this? Where do you stand on teenage pregnancy?
mhm. I believe, I believe talaga. Teenage pregnancy is one of the most sensitive issues that we have been, receiving today in our
Mm-hmm,
society. And we have to be aware about numbers because I think every single day, nag-increase siya and it's
mm-hmm,
very alarming na. So it's beyond the control of the parents and at the same
mm-hmm,
time, the couple that are also facing towards, lack of sex education, I have to say. So I think it's very important that even in our own home, the parents should always be open about that kind of matter. And
mm-hmm,
so that they were being able to share their insights, their advice towards their children so that
mm-hmm,
they will not grow that person na parang very impulsive when it comes to their decision. So teenage pregnancy can be solved if we educate all of our, not all, but most of our teenagers today, because it's
mm-hmm,
very important that if we take this step as a way of educating one another, teenage pregnancy can be solved if they are already aware about the situation that they'll be able to experience, kumbaga, if they're going to bear a child. To have
mm-hmm,
a family is a very hard decision, is a very hard, kumbaga, mahirap siyang gawin. Even my family are also struggling today na kahit malalaki na kami.
mm-hmm,
But we have to remind ourselves na kung kaya niyong gampanan yung pagiging parents niyo, go for it. But
mm-hmm,
be that kind of person na who will give um, an example na kumbaga yung teenage pregnancy can be good, can be bad, but if kung kaya niyong gampanan yung pagka-parents niyo, go for it. We're not taking any barriers for that because it's your choice. It's your choice to bear a child. So you have to respect everyone's decision.
mm-hmm. And I think one of the reasons why this teenage pregnancy is also growing or somehow it's really increasing when it comes to numbers because I believe, I don't know if you would agree with me, there is this mentality among Gen Zs or the millennials that
Mhm.
premarital sex is just normal when it
Yeah.
comes to relationships. So what can you say about that?
Well, I have some of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
parang they are already parents at a very young age, and I don't have any issues with that kasi they're very responsible naman.
Mhm.
But since it's for all, um, sometimes kasi yung mga ganung bagay, it should be sacred, it should be holistic.
Mhm.
And people are taking advantage because the girl or even the boy are also wild, are also curious about that
Mhm.
certain experience. So minsan, education talaga yung yung parang pinaka powerful sa data. Kumbaga,
Mhm.
just to for us to be aware with this kind of situation. So, yun yung nakikita ko. It's because it's about lack of awareness. And siguro knowing that our generation today is very, very impulsive when it comes to their decision.
Mhm.
So we have to take that advantage for them to realize kung ano yung effects ng mga
Mhm.
ganong way of action. So yun.
On the side of the government, what do you think should the government would take action for to
Mhm,
somehow prevent teenage pregnancy in the Philippines?
mhm. I think our government have been doing a great job actually
Mm-hmm.
towards this matter, and I have seen the progress, especially most of the teenagers who are also like responsible enough about taking their life when it comes
Mm-hmm.
against teenage pregnancy. But I think
Mm-hmm.
we should do a little bit more when it comes to that matter by providing programs in schools
Mm-hmm.
actually. Because when we say teenagers, especially in high school or in senior high school, it should be adopted so that most of the student will adjust and will learn about the things that they may experience or they may get if they will be in the situation of teenage pregnancy. So sex education is very important. It's something na parang hindi natin ikakahiya, hindi natin na
Mm-hmm.
parang ikakatakot kasi it is part of our human cycle. We have to
Mm-hmm.
be open with that kind of topic so that we will grow up very aware and also di tayo kumbaga masisisi sa huli.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts and your opinions
Mhm,
regarding this particular issues that we have tackled for tonight. And guys, if you have any questions for Kevin, as we are going to continue on his advocacy, so please just drop your questions down below, and we will definitely ask your questions right, right, directly to him rather. All right. So can you just tell us more about your advocacy? So you've been mentioning your advocacy since a while back, since we've started. So can you just tell us more about it? We want to know more about your advocacy.
mhm. It was started way back 2014 when I joined
Mm-hmm.
a photojournalism in 4-H Club. So
Mm-hmm.
4-H Club is a organization that supports agriculture that leads to supporting the talents and skills of our out of school
Mm-hmm.
youth. So during that time, I was able to compete for photojournalism and I won sixth place in the national level. So when I came back here in Iloilo, I became an active member of 4-H Club. So that was the time that I was able to understand, the the importance of agriculture in our societies. So the reason why I advocate for agritourism because first of all, I graduated from the course of tourism and
Mm-hmm.
then I grew up from a family of farmers and
Mm-hmm.
also through that experiences I was able to compile
Mm-hmm.
towards a very impactful cause.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to take that as an advantage for me to create itineraries for my kumbaga for my people here in
Mm-hmm.
Leganes. So I was able to make tourism plans
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very grateful that the Department of Tourism and the Department of Agriculture here in my municipality have supported me throughout this journey. And na-feature na siya actually sa Island Living Channel, yung advocacy na which was hosted by Rafael Rosel. And I was there and I'm very happy na kumbaga na-promote yung agritourism dito sa Leganes, sa my hometown
Mm-mm.
ko. And beside from that, I'm also into Katungan Mangrove Eco Park. I am
Mm-mm.
promoting mangrove parenting towards the protection of our marine wildlife and coastal areas. So
Mm-mm.
in this cause, one of my major goal is to promote green living, kumbaga
Mm-mm.
healthy living para sa lahat, and also appreciating the rural ways of interacting with the farmers and farm animals, and also mangrove parenting in which we can fight against climate change. So it's more on environmental causes that I could say it's very useful in all kinds of generations.
Mm-mm. I see. Um, have you been partnering with the local government, or at least, if not the local government, at least the non-government organizations? How long have you been, if you are?
Mm-hmm. Yes, oh yes, actually, during the start of my like the Green Wanderlust and Escape Towards Screens and Healthy Living na tour, I've already partnered with some of the LGUs dito sa Leganes, and I'm very
Mm-mm.
happy that they were very supportive about this cause because nakita din nila yung progress ng project na to, because we were able to help our farmers promote their farms, and maraming uh, tourists na pumupunta sa farms nila because they are very interested to, to visit the farm, and at the same time, kumbaga, babayad lang sila, and then pagka-uwi nila may mga gulay na sila, may mga prutas, parang ganong experience.
Mm-mm.
And also, when it comes to affiliated organization, I have been partnered with some organizations dito sa Iloilo, not just more on environmental causes, but also humanitarian works. So beside from doing this agritourism, we are also helping those who are less fortunate, and through that with a partnership of some organization here in Iloilo.
That's impressive, really, huh? And before yeah, I'm actually very much impressed with your advocacy that you've been working very hard for it. No,
Mm-hmm.
however, I think. Oh, hello. Hi, Rex. Hello, thank you for watching, Rex. Yeah,
Hello.
I think Rex Datul. Yeah, Rex Datul Telenaro is actually from Isabela, right? Hi,
Boys, see
kababayan. Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, um, we have already talked much about your advocacy, and you've shared so much already. So this time, I actually have some hypothetical questions in here, and this is a challenge that I
Oh,
was telling you about a while ago. So, are you ready for this?
that's very exciting and interesting. So let's go.
Yeah. So these are hypothetical questions. All right. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
really that very personal. So, for the first question we have here, have you ever cheated on your partner? If yes, why and when?
It's a very hard question, actually. Well, siguro we're not all perfect when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
relationships,
Yes, that's
and
right.
there's a lot of time na parang we always judge each other because we're not that very kumbaga hindi tayo kampante kung ano yung ginagawa ng bawat isa.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that I could say na parang I cheated siguro is when I chose to hang out with friends, and also yung reason ko matutulog ako but I hang out with them. I know that's not that really big as what other people think it should be, but
Mm-hmm.
siguro for us it's already a big deal because it's a matter of honesty and faithfulness. So
Yes, that's right. Mhm.
so yun, siguro yan yung parang yung parang naalala ko because ako naman kasi I'm very open naman, at the same time mindful with my actions, so that my partner would not be angry by the next day. So yun.
Ayun. Thank you. Next hypothetical question is this. What will you do if you find out that your girlfriend is pregnant for another guy?
Oh, this is a very painful situation, knowing
Mhm.
that your girlfriend was pregnant not just because of you, but because of the other guy that
Mhm.
been dating. It's a very hard situation actually. For example, for myself and seeing my girlfriend experiencing like that. So
Mhm.
first of all, yung gagawin ko, um, I will not take in charge of that baby because it was not mine. So she chooses to, she chose that person to enter her
Mhm.
life, not enter her life, not me. So I
Mhm.
respect that decision, and I'm not that kind of person kasi na who will tolerate that kind of action. So if she is happy with the other person and she's seeing her future with that person, kumbaga making her own family, so let her be, you know. I respect that because if that makes her happy, so be it.
So you just let go of her.
Because I will not tolerate that kind of action. Talaga.
Oh, okay. How about this one? What will you do if you find out your current parents are not your biological parents?
Mhm. Well, first of all, I will not get mad. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if I knew that my parents that I'm living today is not my biological parents,
Mm-hmm.
I would feel thankful actually because
Mm-hmm.
they gave me a better life, and at the same
Mm-hmm.
time they gave me the life that it should be like parang I did not deserve at all. So siguro for some people they would feel opposite, but for me I would feel more on the positive side because
Mm-hmm.
they gave me better opportunities, and at the same time they were able to give me the reasons why I have to work on with my dreams. So yun, even though that so yun, if nalaman ko yun and then I'm on the right age, so I will find time to find my biological parents because
Mm-hmm.
makakaya ko na rin yun
Ah,
tanggapin.
diba? Why do you really have to get mad, diba? But because when they already
Raise you
raised
well.
you, diba? So
Uh,
I
tama.
think that's already your utang na loob.
Mhm.
Regardless. Okay. Next one is, do you think it's normal to make love with your partner outside marriage?
There are a lot of couples who also believe na parang you have to make love after the marriage, but also there are a lot of couples that are practicing uh, making love even though they're not still married, sorry.
So for
So
you,
yeah, so for me, I think growing up in a very conservative family, I would still respect the decision that she have been created for herself, and that is following like after the marriage. That's the time that both of you would make love. So
mhm,
I would always respect that values because it's something that it really reflects the person as well.
mhm. All right, thank you. Last one. As a guy, will you take an invitation from a girl for a one night stand?
I'm not that kind of person
Mhm,
kasi I always respect everybody. No matter what kind of you know gender you are. As a guy kasi, it is our responsibility to take good care of each one another. So to see a woman asking for a one night stand is something na parang nakaka ano siya, nakakabahala. Maybe because
mhm,
she's needing for affection, she's seeking for love. That's why she's asking for a one night stand. So
mhm,
instead, advise that girl, parang, why don't we have a cup of coffee muna so that parang maano yung isip mo, baka mag-iba pa. So, ganun. So there's a lot of way about communicating, not only making yourself as a one night stand person, but we can talk like as a friend. Parang ganun.
All right. So all right. So thank you so much for answering those hypothetical questions that I have. However, there's still one question that Sarah's wants to ask. So HNP or Harino
Uy,
Pilipinas will
hello.
be held in Cagayan Valley. What Ilocano word or Ibanag have you ever learned so far?
Mhm. Actually, yung boss ko is from Cagayan, specifically in Tuguegarao, yung boss ko.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of the time I've been hearing parang most of the word parang good morning. May iba, wait lang. I'm not that confident to speak kasi yung language nila kasi
Mm-hmm.
medyo complicated. Um, uy ami, parang uy ami na word. Uy ami. I forgot
Yun
the term.
Ani.
Parang yan yung sound na nalalaman ko sa kanya.
It's
But
naimbag.
na
Naimbag nga
na
bigat.
mo ami parang
Naimbag na bigat. Ganon. Sa ano, good
gana.
morning.
Ayun.
It's
So,
Ilocano.
oo. So, yun. And I'm also looking forward to may sinabi siya kasing pansit na makikita dun sa Cagayan Valley na parang may may um may sobrang impressive yung toppings. So that's
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking forward to try. So yun.
Yeah, that's naimbag na bigat kada kayo
Yeah,
amin. So,
ayun.
good
Naimbag
morning sa
na
inyong lahat.
ayun.
Magandang
Hello,
umaga sa inyong
hello
lahat.
Sir Ras.
Naimbag na bigat kada kayo amin. Ganon.
Amin. Ayun.
Amin is lahat.
Opo. Opo.
For Ibanag naman, in Ibanag that would be like, Diyos ta umani ka mga amin. Ganon.
Ayun. Very ano siya, reserved pakinggan.
Alright. So, oh, from Roy Cruz, Guapo mo Iloilo. Yep.
Uy,
So, there
naku,
you go.
salamat.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in with us for that's more than an hour. All right,
Mhm.
and do you have any word for anyone who you would like to address to Kevin? Mhm.
I'm always grateful with the support of everybody here in Iloilo, starting from
Mhm.
my team and also from the whole city of Iloilo. They're very expressive and vocal about their support. So, madamo gid nga salamat sa tanan nga nagasuporta sa akon para sa Hari
Mhm.
ng Pilipinas. Na appreciate ko gid ang inyo nga suporta.
Mhm.
So I always remind myself to stay grounded all the time, especially that
Mhm.
I'm receiving this support. Um, and also to you, Sir Franz, I'm very grateful to be part of your program tonight. I
Mhm.
know there's a lot of things happened earlier, but I'm still
Mhm.
grateful na parang nairaos din natin to ngayon.
Mhm.
So yun, yeah, thank you so much for everybody who are supporting me and also to Sir Franz for making this possible. And also to Sir Reese and to Sir Harlick, especially to Sir Harlick, I just want to greet him a happy birthday. I hope you're enjoying your day today. So keep safe.
All right, happy birthday, Sir Harley. All right, so yeah, thank you so much as well, Kevin, for considering to guest on our show, on my show rather, on live session. So thank you so
I
much for that.
enjoyed po
Thank you for your trust, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. You had fun
really
with
a
the
lot.
interview, and of course, and but one more thing is that I really hope that you have learned as well from this interview. So thank you so much as
Madami.
well to Hari ng Pilipinas organization for allowing your candidates to somehow get interviewed and to guest on our sessions and of course on our channel. Thank you so much for that, and we definitely oh, thank you, Francois, for featuring our Harris. Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure. Yeah, I miss you too. Mami Roy. So see you soon. All right, and to all our viewers who stayed with us for more than 1 hour, thank you so much. And of course, Who else? To you, thank you so much. All right,
Thank you po.
and yep. So for all those, to all those who are new to our channel, please do follow our Facebook page, and of course, do subscribe and click the bell notification of our YouTube, so that you will get notified whenever we release new videos. And we are also on Instagram and TikTok, so please do follow us on all our social media platforms for more pageant updates. Thank you so much. Good night to everyone, and hope to see you on our next live sessions. So have a great night to you. Have a great night to you all, and God bless you all. Bye.
Bye.